Hi, this is Valerie McConnell of VAL TV Network, and I'm here for the press conference for Mexico versus Mexico, taking place at T-Mobile May 2nd. It's two-time world champion David Benavidez versus the WBO, WBA, Gilberto Ramirez. This is a match you don't want to miss, making history. We will be looking forward to giving you the highlights here at the Richmond Ballroom inside the MGM Grand.
Pre-sale tickets for the live event are available this Tuesday, the 24th, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific through AXS.com with the codes PBC or GBP. Now, the public on sale begins Wednesday, February 25th at 10 a.m. on AXS.com. It's promoted by Sampson Boxing and Golden Boy Promotions in association with TGB Promotions, and it's sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Right now, I'm going to bring up everybody. We're going to hear from the fighters, we're going to hear from the promoters, hear from everybody, and of course, thanks to all the members of the media that are here for this press conference this Saturday afternoon here in Las Vegas. First to the podium, let's bring up the man from Sampson Boxing, behind David Benavidez, Sampson Lukowitz.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is a really special Cinco de Mayo. But first of all, before even I start, I want to say thank you to Golden Boy and BBC, to United, to have a great show and many more in the future. Because boxing is starting to change. And that change, it cannot change 100 years. Like is boxing, and so we're waiting for more promoters to enjoy us and bring the best of Cinco future. As you know, PBC have great fights, like Tyson and Durante William Wilder on number 3, Maidana versus Ploner, Lara versus Hart, Leo Santa Cruz versus Frampton, and definitely one of the best ever of bleeding fight with Fundora versus Tim Tszyu. Sebastian Fundora, it be short too. Well, now that is PBC that to bring to the public one of the best and shows that money can buy. Benavidez decide to get his own way to the crown, to the best, and to be part of the best of the best. And he decided to have his way and not to wait any longer for any. I want to say thank you to my dear friend, Zurdo Ramirez. I know him from almost Bloody View in Mexico. So this is the fight. And doesn't care about the weight, if we have an extra weight or not. We grow up to be a big man. But I need to see that myself, and I will pay, if I'm not involved in this business, to see two Mexicans for the first time in the cruiserweight division on the Cinco de Mayo. So with that in mind, I want to say thank you to all of you. And it be an unbelievable night. We call him Puro Mexico. Puro Mexico, it be there too. Only Mexicans and the best Mexicans will be seeing an excellent, extraordinary undercard. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Sampson. As always, involved, looking sharp as always. Right now, let's bring up to the podium the chairman and CEO, the Hall of Famer of Golden Boy Promotions, Oscar De La Hoya.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sampson, for those kind words. You're a gentleman and a scholar. I'm really excited about Cinco de Mayo weekend this year. Traditionally, you've had great fighters like Julio Cesar Chavez, myself. You've had the likes of Canelo Alvarez fighting on this big weekend. But the fact that two Mexicans are fighting in the main event for the belts, for the world title belts, is going to be extra special. And let me tell you why, because for the first time, you're having a fighter who was the very first super middleweight Mexican world champion and the very first cruiserweight Mexican world champion up against the monster, Benavidez, who we know what he brings to the table. He brings everything to the table from round 1 to round 12. So I expect this fight to be a war, a classic war, a Mexican classic war. And that's what fight fans want to see. They want to be involved with a great historical event. They don't want to see somebody walk, just throwing 2-3 punches around, or, they want to see an exciting event. And this is exactly what Zurdo and Benavidez is bringing to the table. I want to thank, I want to thank Al Heyman. When I talked to him over the phone and we were making this event, obviously Sampson Lajkovic had everything to do with it. We, and Tom Brown had everything to do with it as well. We were talking about how we can make Cinco de Mayo not only historical, but an event that the world will never, ever forget. So we're excited to talk about, with Tom, to talk about the undercard. I mean, we have a great main event, but wait for the undercard. It will be special. Fighters from Golden Boy's roster, fighters from PBC's roster, we're coming together and making the very best fights happen for the fans. So, I mean, between both guys, imagine 55 knockouts. So don't tell me they're gonna box around and, bore the crowd. No, they're gonna put on a great show, because these two guys here, yes, they're technicians, but they're fighters. And the pressure is on. I don't mean to put the pressure on you guys, but the pressure is on. Cinco de Mayo is a date where people expect fireworks, and that's exactly what we will get. So once again, I am extremely proud to be passing on, and I say that with great pride and honor. I feel very proud to be passing on that torch. The torch that Chavez passed to me, the torch that I passed to Canelo, and the torch that Canelo is now passing on to Benavidez and Zurdo. So thank you very much. We'll see you Cinco de Mayo, the second Cinco de Mayo weekend. This will be an incredible event. Thank you, PBC. We appreciate you. Thank you. Ahora, para toda la prensa en español, gracias por todo el apoyo, y estamos muy contentos, muy felices, muy agradecidos por Zurdo y por Benavidez. Obviamente la fecha de 5 de mayo es una fecha muy importante para el boxeo mexicano. Yo creo que por primera vez en la historia del boxeo tenemos a 2 mexicanos peleando en esta fecha. Si me recuerdo bien, no estoy muy seguro, pero creo que sí, en esta división. Yo creo que el hecho de que va a ser por un campeonato mundial va a ser más especial, pero lo más especial de esta cartelera, de este evento, es el undercard. No puedo esperar hablar con Tom Brown, con Eddie Gómez, y poner una cartelera increíble, inolvidable para todos los fans de todo el mundo, porque esta fecha, el 5 de mayo, todo el mundo piensa que 5 de mayo, sí, vamos a tomar y vamos a chupar y vamos a entretenerlos, ¿no? Pero lo que vamos a hacer es quedar entretenidos por una gran pelea como esta, Zurdo Ramirez y Benavidez. Así que gracias, PBC, gracias Tom Brown, gracias Sampson, gracias a Benavidez, gracias Zurdo por darnos esta gran noche de boxeo el 2 de mayo. Gracias.
beer drinking that weekend, especially with Zurdo and the monster Benavidez over here. Right now, let's bring up to the podium the man who is his father, his trainer. When they started, it was just them, the family, his brother Jose also. And I remember watching them going into the gyms. They didn't have much, and he built himself a champion. Right now, Jose Benavidez Sr.
Un evento grandísimo, que es un día muy especial. Le quiero dar las gracias también a toda la prensa, a todos los medios de comunicación, a Oscar de la Hoya, a Al Jiménez, Luis de Cuba, Sampson, al equipo de Zurdo Ramirez, muy buenos amigos, y va a ser una pelea explosiva, una pelea muy entretenida para toda la gente. También le quiero agradecer a toda mi gente mexicana por todo ese apoyo, por todo el amor que nos han brindado, y muy contentos. Poco a poco vamos demostrando, David Benavidez va demostrando lo que es el monstruo mexicano. Entonces quiero invitar a toda la gente para que este 2 de mayo estén presentes para una nueva era, la era del monstruo mexicano, David Benavidez. Esos días aquí en Las Vegas son muy importantes, hay 2 días muy importantes, y poco a poco nos vamos a apoderar de esas fechas. Tenemos a un peleador aquí, Zurdo Ramírez, un peleador que estuvimos en campamento como por 3 años, trabajando juntos, haciendo mucho sparring, un peleador buenísimo, campeón 2 veces, y ahora en los cruceros con dos campeonatos. Va a ser una guerra, y creo yo que la gente va a estar entretenida, pero creo yo que David Benavidez tiene todo para hacer la cara al boxeo. Y en esta pelea David Benavidez no nomás tiene que ganar, tiene que lucir espectacular como siempre lo hace, para poder enfrentar a esos otros peleadores peligrosos que vienen siendo Beterbiev, Bivol, y la lista sigue, ¿no? Entonces David Benavidez se está preparando muy fuerte, está muy enfocado, tiene su familia a su lado que lo apoyan, y pues va a ser muy difícil para que alguien le gane, ¿no? Entonces, como te digo, sin ofender al Zurdo, quiero darle las gracias por la oportunidad que nos dio para pelear por sus títulos, pero el 2 de mayo vamos a hacer algo espectacular, no se lo pueden perder, los esperamos el 5 de mayo weekend. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Senior. Well said, right? A lot of respect between these two fighters. Right now, to the stage, 48-1, 30 KOs, the reigning WBA and WBO cruiserweight champion from Sinaloa, Mexico, Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez.
Hola, ¿qué tal a todos? Estoy muy contento de estar aquí. Quiero pues agradecer a todo el equipo de Benavidez, a mi equipo, a todos los que hacen posible esto. Es una excelente pelea, ya que hemos hecho sparring, nos conocemos bastante. De hecho, me ayudó mucho para pelear por mi primer campeonato. Él fue el que me ayudó para el sparring. Y la verdad, pues estoy contento porque pues es lo que se merece el boxeo, este tipo de peleas que se hagan, este tipo de combates son los que sobresalen, y es lo que mantiene vivo al deporte del boxeo también. Muchas gracias a todos. Thank you everyone to be here. Thank you for making everything possible. And I'm so glad to be here to make a huge fight for this May 2nd. And I want to say, don't miss the fight. And Benavidez, his team, he helped me a lot for my first fight, world title fight. And I know him, we know each other, but I think it will be an exciting, super exciting fight. Pero Zurdo Ramírez se va a quedar con los títulos. Gracias.
Ramirez will stay with the titles. That's what you're saying right there. You see Zurdo, and you'll see this man, his trainer with him at Brickhouse Boxing, Julian Chua. It's right there with him all the time. The man who's led him to the title. Let's bring to the stage now, Julian.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. I just want to say thank you to all the teams, Oscar, all the promotions, and I mean, I can't say how much of an honor it is to be fighting and being a part of Cinco de Mayo weekend. You know, Mexican boxing, the heritage of it, everything. It's a huge part of the sport and built the sport, you know, so it's just an honor to be a part of this event. Man, what can I say about this fight? You know, neither team, we're not really big into talking, and there's not going to be a need for that, because I got to see this sparring up close, and this is just sparring. This isn't the real fight, and those rounds were all pay-per-view worthy. There wasn't a single one that wasn't. And now you layer on that it's a real fight, the competitive nature that brought them both to where they're at today, at its peak form will be there. So, I mean, like I said, man, I don't need to say much about this fight. It's gonna be a shootout. It's gonna be a great war. Much respect to David, his team. I love Zurdo, and I just want us to put on a fantastic show. I don't feel like there will be pressure on this to be a great fight, because just how they are, it's gonna be one, you know. I just want both parties to end the fight healthy, and you know, may the best man win. But you know, we believe it's gonna be Zurdo Ramirez. Thank you.
Thank you, Julian. Been working out, huh, Buff? You too, bro. And Benavidez, like, man, everybody's getting after it this way. Right now, they call him the Mexican Monster. Have you heard the story about David Benavidez when he was 14 years old? He was a big chubby kid. They thought he was a heavyweight. It was like, he's not the fighter. He's not going to be the champion. None of this. And look what he's become right now. With a record of 31-0, 25 KOs, the reigning WBC and WBA light heavyweight world champion. And he's ready to talk right now, so I'm going to get out of the way. The Mexican Monster, David Benavidez.
Hola a todos, les quiero decir buen día. Primeramente le quiero dar las gracias a Dios, porque sin Él nada es posible. Le quiero dar las gracias a todo mi equipo, todos los promotores, Sampson, Golden Boy, Al Heyman, Luis Cubas Jr. y también a mi abogado David García. Me siento bien, me siento muy motivado para esta pelea. Yo ya sé que Zurdo va a venir listo, pero yo estoy listo también. Vamos a dejar todo en el ring, mayo 2. Pero le quiero decir al Zurdo también que disfrute sus títulos, porque se van a ir conmigo en mayo 2. And I just want to tell everybody, good morning. How's everybody doing? I want to give a thanks to all the promoters, Sampson Lukowitz, Golden Boy Promotions, Al Heyman, Luis Cubas Jr., my father, Jose Benavidez, my lawyer, David Garcia, my wife, my kids, you know, everybody on my team. I'm very excited. This is something I've been working for a long, long time, and I feel like me and Zurdo owe it to each other, because we had so much great sparring sessions that were championship, pay-per-view worthy rounds. And I think I even told him one day, I'm like, we're gonna have to do this for pay-per-view. And we're going for 2 titles, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, and I'm very grateful for Zurdo giving me this opportunity. And also I'm grateful for Oscar De La Hoya, because we had talked about this like 2 years ago. We were trying to make this happen, so I'm very excited. We're here making this happen, so let's go get it. See you guys May 2nd.
Thank you, David. Now, about more than 10 years ago, you were a teenager. You would go to the Rock Gym. You were training at Hill Street in Long Beach. Every now and then you'd go to the gym in Carson. And Zurdo was training there with his former team. He'd walk in. And I remember Randy Robles telling me that eventually one day those two are going to get at it. I'm like, but man, they're not the same size. He goes, oh, they will be one day. I can't believe we're here at the cruiserweight division. But you hear them both talk about it. We've all seen the pictures of them sparring. And like, sparring is sparring. But David, you knew eventually that one day this was going to happen. Why did you know it was going to happen?
Because he's a top fighter. He's a great fighter as well. And I just seen into the future. I was helping him get ready for Archer Abraham. And we had some great sparring sessions. He was champion for a while. Then he went up to 175. Then he went up to cruiserweight. So I knew Zurdo was going to be one of those fighters that's going to be there for a long, long time. He's only had 1 loss against VAL. So I knew eventually we were going to do this. I didn't think we were going to do it in cruiserweight. But shit, it's even better for me. I'm very excited. I think a fight at cruiserweight between me and Zurdo Ramirez is going to be. We're going to be able to showcase both of our talents. We're going to be able to show it, like, we're not going to be wagering and nothing like that. So it's going to be an even better fight. So I'm very excited.
Why move up to cruiserweight?
because there was nothing else for me at 175 right now. You know, I mean, I could have sat down and waited on the sidelines and wait for Bivol to have his tune-up and then another fight. But like I said, I'm not interested in that. I've been professional 13 years. I've been wanting to get the biggest title, the biggest fights possible. You know, I've been denied a couple times. This was the other biggest fight on the map. Zurdo accepted it like that. So big shout out to him. And you know, I'm just, you know, like I said, I want to make my own lane. I want to achieve greatness, and this is the only way to do it.
Sort of all those years of sparring, and you saw him when he was a teenager growing up. You might have said, okay, one day maybe, but did you think that this fight would happen?
I knew that it would happen eventually, and right now is the dream come true because all the sparring, all the sessions that we did, and we knew each other. We knew that one day we will fight, and this is the right moment, like he said, because the 200 will not be like a cutting weight or nothing. It'll be like natural, like those days in sparring.
One thing about it, as Oscar's talked about, Sampson's talked about, the Cinco de Mayo weekend is special. I know, David, for you, you want to have that legacy. But there's something special about fighting that weekend. How important is it for you to put on that show?
It's very important for me because, you know, for the whole history of the Cinco de Mayo fights, it's been tremendous fighters like Oscar, Julio Cesar Chavez, putting on great fights. Not only just great fights, there were wars because there were paired up fights. You know, they didn't take no easy fights. So I think this is symbolically, this is what it symbolizes. May 5th symbolizes two warriors, and now it's even more special because it's two Mexican warriors going at it for a title. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm at the cusp of taking the face of boxing, and Zurdo Ramirez, he's if he beats me, you know what I mean, his stock goes up. So there's greatness on the other side of that tunnel for both of us. So we're gonna come extremely prepared.
Zurdo, for you, fighting that weekend, I mean, you fought all over the world. You've had some big fights, but this one is special because it's fighting David Benavidez, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's the monster. Before I call him the different, el asesino, because I saw him when he sparred different guys. He beat him all the time, and I was like, okay, it'll be a good fight eventually one day. And right now at the May 5th, La Batalla de Puebla, two warriors, we're making history.
Oscar, we see in the current state of boxing right now, and in the past, was nobody wanted to cross the street. Nobody wanted to work with other promoters. You wanted to keep it in-house. Now you thank Dal Heyman, you thank Tom, you thank Sampson. And it's better if promoters work together. Why was it important for you to make sure this happens?
No, that's what Golden Boy has always been about, is working with other promoters, and right from the start. And like I said, I've worked with Bob, I've worked with Al, I've worked with everybody in the game to make the best fights happen. And you know, one thing that I'm really proud of, I believe this is a first for Golden Boy, is the fact that we're gonna be on Prime. I mean, that's gonna be something really, really special. Have you seen Prime's production? Prime's production is probably the best production in boxing today. It's incredible, it's amazing. When you watch, you know, Prime, and you're watching these great fights that TGB put together and that Sampson put together and Al Heyman and PBC. You know, I'm watching those fights and I'm intrigued by the production, the value of the production. That's one thing. But this fight here on May 2nd, look, there's no trash talking, there's no pushing and this and that. No, they're gonna do that inside the ring. Mark my words. And guys, don't forget about the pressure. But the pressure to fight hard. That's why I love Cinco de Mayo weekend, because every fighter that fights on Cinco de Mayo, they know they have to fight hard. They know that the fans are expecting a war inside the ring, and you couldn't have two better guys than Zurdo and Benavidez.
Well, when you're throwing that fight party, you're going to get mad. The deals are going to get mad if nobody's fighting, right? And that will be May 2nd, a PBC pay-per-view event available on Prime Video. For David, this is a fight between two fighters who have a lot of respect for each other. You guys know each other for a while. You don't, first, neither of you are trash talkers. You're very honest with the public, you're honest with the media, but when you get into the ring, obviously it's different. Why do you have an advantage on May 2nd?
I mean, I can say I have an advantage. Zurdo's going to say he has an advantage over me, but I'm just going to say how it is. I'm going to go in there, I'm going to leave everything on the ring. I'm training extremely hard. My conditioning, my stamina, everything. You know, I'm not leaving nothing to the side. I'm making sure I'm working even harder and putting extra reps in anything and everything I do this camp. And that's just the way I fight. You know what I mean? I'm gonna leave everything out on the ring. You know, I don't want to just. I want to earn, you know, the fans' respect, and I want to go in there and put on a great fight. And I want to leave all the fans amazed by when they leave that fight. I want them to be, you know, I want them to be amazed the fight, the whole card and the whole event. You know, that's what we're going for. We're going to leave everything on the ring.
Sampson, you saw this young man and you signed him. What did you see about him when you said, I want him to work with me?
Well, in this case, it was not really only me. He went to spar in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, and I have the Jackson brothers, and he beat the shit out of him. So Tony from Virgin Islands said, listen, we need to take this kid. He said, look, I know you for so long, but I have trust on you. I used to do a lot in the Virgin Islands. So I spoke with Jose, and we come to an agreement, but I never saw him before. But then the first time, then I make my, you know, I work my secret, how to get the best. And until now, I believe I didn't make a mistake, because the first fight, it was in Showtime. I say that we have a future champion in 168, and I promised to him that he'd be the youngest one. Now, in the beginning of his career, in the first fight, told me, let's do it 175 pounds. You remember?
It's 180.
180.
I told you 100.
So he called me up, he said, the lawyer, our friend David Garcia, he said, can we make the fight 185? I said, no, I just canceled the show. I just canceled the fight. You need to come and do whatever you agree with. He come less of that. And I believe that is the reason that he followed my lead for so many years, that he be almost 10 years together. And he went to 168. He said, no, 75, I can go to 60. I know that. And I'm so proud of him and the father and the whole family, because we accomplished so much in such short time that I'm so proud and hope that it will continue forever.
Every fighter has a journey. It's a great story there, Sampson, finding where he's at. For you, Zurdo, when you came from Sinaloa, you were with a different team. You connected with Brickhouse and Julian Chua. They've made you a champion. Why is this bond that you have so special?
Because it's May 5th, La Batalla de Puebla, and two warriors. I mean, I just want to be my own too. I want to be the best, and I want to fight with the best. I know he's one of the best, and I just want to give to really exciting fight to those people that they love this sport like me, boxing, and I just want to fight him because he's the best, and what I get to in this sport, because I try to recognize myself to be the best, and then I have to fight with the best.
And the belts stay with you?
Yes, stay with me.
You're taking the belts?
Coming home with me.
They're going with Benavidez or they're going with Zurdo. Let's get a face-off between these two. Round of applause for David and Monstro Benavidez, and Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez will do the face-off here.
It's definitely legit because he has 2 world titles. I mean, it doesn't really matter if Jao Bataya has another one. He has 2 legit titles right there. So I think so. It's a legit fight. It's a legit, title shot, and I'm gonna be very happy once I capture those 2 titles.
Are you looking to settle in at cruiserweight and look at overtime next, or get back to the light heavyweight division, fight Bivol, fight Benavidez?
Well, I'm just taking every fight one fight at a time. There's a lot of stuff I like to do, but a lot of people sometimes they're not ready to fight or this and that. Jao Bataya just signed with Zuffa Boxing, so that's another roadblock for that fight too. But I don't know. I feel like right now I'm 100%. He's a big guy. He's a champion at cruiserweight. So I'm only thinking about this fight right now, and then we're gonna try and make the biggest and best fights happen after.
How strong are you feeling at the weight class, David?
Well, I mean, I still don't know because I haven't fought at cruiserweight. I feel good in muscle. We got 10 weeks to do that, so I mean, I feel like I'm gonna be the best. You know, I'm not gonna have to lose weight at all. So it's just I don't know how that feels yet. You know, but I know it's gonna feel good. So I'm expecting the best version of myself that night.
David, for the longest time, man, David Benavidez conversation was always attached to a Canelo Alvarez
To
conversation.
be honest with you, if Canelo Alvarez is in boxing, he's always going to be in the picture because the fans are never going to forget about that. They're always going to want that. The thing I've made it very clear about myself that I'm not going to wait for Canelo. You know, I'm going over here making my own lane, going up to cruiserweight. So it feels good, but it feels good to be in my own lane and doing, you know, other stuff, and you know, I'm able to get my glory besides just that one Canelo fight. But to be honest with you, you guys are always going to be interested in that fight, so that question is never going to leave. You know what I mean? But I mean, it doesn't matter to me. At the end of the day, the fans deserve that fight, whether it happens, whether it not, or whether it doesn't. I don't know, but if it's possible to make it happen one day, we're ready for whatever.
Hey, David, how's your power feeling at that weight?
I feel pretty good now. I won't know until I step in because I've never fought at cruiserweight. Whereas it's a big jump up in weight from 175 to 200. It's 25 pounds. It's funny because you got like 30, 35, 40, 47. It's an increment of 5 to 7 pounds. From here, from 175 to 200 is what, 25 pounds, 20 pounds. So it's a big change, but you know, I'm a big guy, so it shouldn't.
What's your weight now, David?
Right now I'm at 205. For me, trying to get the biggest fights in the world, like with Jail Bataille, Benavidez, there's even another champion at cruiserweight. I'm trying to make that happen. It's just that we gotta take it one step at a time.
David, ¿te sientes ir por un título en una tercera división y en una fecha tan mexicana, tan latina, el fin de semana, el 5 de mayo? ¿Qué es lo que sientes tú?
Pues me siento muy orgulloso de tener esta oportunidad para pelear mayo segundo, el fin de semana del 5 de mayo. Me siento...
Always be for David Benavidez?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say always, man. I think that date is not, it doesn't belong to one fighter. It was Julio Cesar Chavez, Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo. It's the people who give the best fights in boxing. And, you know, what I want to do is not only have these dates, but put the best possible fights on it. You know, I feel like when fans come out to see me fight May 5th or September 16th, I want them to never forget not only the event, but the fight. Basically saying that I'm not going to do no easy fights. I want to get out there, I want to give the best, the hardest fights, so I can leave a long-lasting impression on the fans.
What have been the biggest focus in camp for you, David? Was it power, conditioning, patience?
We still got 10 weeks left. We still got a while. I mean, I've been training for the past 5 weeks, and it's just, this camp is going to be different because we're putting on more muscle. You know, I already got the training part down and like the losing weight part down, but now it's different because I'm not going to be losing no weight. You know, the weight is going to come off by itself in 10 weeks. You know, I train like an animal. So I'm just enjoying the process that I don't got to lose weight. So, you know, so I'm very happy about it.
Dave, you mentioned Canelo fight could still happen. Realistically, with you at cruiserweight, what?
The sanctioning bodies, WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO. I'm very proud to be their champion. How I feel about another boxing organization coming to make their own belts, they're giving other boxers opportunity. I have no problem with that. You know what I mean? If I'm staying here, this is my league. I'm not saying I'm gonna go fight with Zurdo, none of that. I respect them a lot. They're giving other boxers opportunities that they don't have here. So I have no problem with that.
Turkey, like tonight's fight when Golden Boy had the bigger star and they decided to go ahead and make it a ring show. What do you think of PBC and the side of it, just keeping this PBC local?
I mean, I don't know, man. To be honest with you, I'm just happy to be a part of this event. I don't really want to get into politics and none of that like that. You know, I feel like we're in a good position. I'm happy that we're able to make this fight in Las Vegas.
Hey David, with the narrative that you're fighting for the belts, I think a lot of people understand why you did. But some people feel like the Arthur Benavidez fight was probably the fight that the fight fans probably wanted. You know, so for those people who probably felt you should have fought Arthur as opposed to Zurdo, is there just a reason? Was it just this was the most
So what are those people saying when Arthur was supposed to fight Bivol and I didn't fight Bivol? You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff. People are going to say a lot of things, but I'm trying to make that fight happen. I'm not running from any of these fights. If anything, if he would have an opportunity to go up and fight for the cruiserweight championship, fighting me for no belt, I think you could go with that. So I'm just trying to, like I said, I'm just trying to make my own lane, achieve my own greatness, and tell Bertby to be patient because we're coming for him soon.
People used to laugh, at the idea because of the weight of Crawford coming up and fighting Canelo, right? If Usyk were to do 200, would you fight him?
You guys are giving me a lot of names right now, bro. Maximum capabilities of myself. Because, Usyk is all-time great. He's probably one of the greatest fighters in the century. So, Usyk not right now.
Hey, picking up on that question, man. I know you said your focus is 175, but as you get older, as you grow into your body, does that thought ever cross your mind? Will the Mexican Monster ever compete for a heavyweight championship?
I think I can. The question is not if I can compete at heavyweight, it's do I want to. Right now, I'm really cruiserweight, light heavyweight, cruiserweight, probably for the next 5 years. I'm not even thinking about heavyweight. Maybe I'm sure I can fight a heavyweight fight right now. Until maybe 5 years, I'm not thinking about it.
David, ¿tú crees que el nombre de Canelo sigue?
And always try to strive to be the greatest, the best you can possibly be. What I mean by that is, if you're ready in yourself and you feel ready, take the hardest fights that you can possibly take, because that's how you bring greatness out of yourself. Obviously, if you're not ready, don't take those. I think people now, they just want to they want to get the big paydays and not take the big fights, but it's the other way around. Get the big fights out the way, then you get the big paydays. No, this is not my peak. All the groundwork I put in over the years, I got 13 years professional, been boxing 26 years. So this is not my peak, I'm stepping into my peak. And it's been a long time coming, I've stayed patient, I've fought the fights I needed to fight, I've looked the way I needed to look, and now I'm just enjoying this moment. Now it's time to work even harder.
From a technical aspect, where do you feel like you are still improving fight to fight?
Well, every boxer can improve in whatever he needs to improve. That's for me to know. But we're improving on all that stuff. Huh?
What was your toughest fight?
My toughest fight? Probably with the scale. No, the higher you go up in level, there's always going to be tough fights. Caleb Plant was a tough fight. Andre was a tough fight. Morel was a tough fight. But this is what I expect from these fights. I don't expect no easy fights. So every fight, every fight is getting tougher and tougher. So for me, that's the route I want to go. I want to fight better and better opponents every single fight. So I'm expecting every fight to be tougher than the last.
Any more questions? Weight is between 25 pounds. Is the optimal outcome for you in this fight to stop Zurdo and feel that encouragement to both stay at cruiserweight and perhaps make that move to heavyweight?
I want to. Like I said, I had an opportunity to go up to cruiserweight. We took that opportunity, but like I said, I have a lot of unfinished business at 175. So we're doing this, and I'm not thinking about heavyweight at all. You guys keep bringing up heavyweight, I'm not thinking about that. No, pues le quiero invitar a toda mi gente, todos los fans de México, todos los mexicanos de los Estados Unidos aquí, a mi pelea. Mayo 2 va a ser una guerra, le voy a dar algo muy especial a todos los fans. Muchas gracias.
Gracias. All right, guys, we're going to do some one-on-ones. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
I'm here, and David is now going to be leaving, but we are here at the press conference. He's getting ready for May 2nd. David is going up 25 pounds in weight. And most of our boxers, they go up in 5, 10, but because he is fighting cruiserweight, he says he's confident, and he says he knows how to do it.
Yeah, we're thrilled, we're excited. I think this fight is going to break barriers. I think this fight it doesn't matter if they're Mexican, it doesn't matter. What matters is that Cinco de Mayo, everybody celebrates Cinco de Mayo, they call it Cinco de Drinko. Heyman, myself, we're going to put together spectacular card. Literally a Mexican showdown at Cinco de Mayo.
Oscar, so tonight we obviously have Ryan and Mario's. We've got Zurdo and David. with everything going on in today's climate in boxing, can we anticipate, you've been talking about working together for the longest, man, with other promoters. Is this something we can anticipate in response to the pressure that Zuf is putting on, seeing you work with Al Heyman and other promoters more often, more frequently, to give the fans what they want to see?
Yeah, no, look, we with Tom Brown and Al Heyman, and we're discussing several cards down the line. So, and one thing about me and Golden Word Promotions is that we've always worked with everybody. We don't exclude nobody. We've worked with Bob Arum, with Al Heyman, PBC, with you name it. We work with everybody. Matchroom. We're always in position to bring you guys the best fights, and that's going to continue. Nothing's going to change.
About the brotherhood stuff, about that person.
The brotherhood in boxing, to me is kind of like a copy. You know? It really is, because if you want to be the best, you have to fight the best. That's the bottom line. It doesn't matter. I would have fought my brother, literally, if he was ranked number 2 in the world or had a title. I would have fought him. It's what you do. This is the fight game. You sign up when you're 5, 6, 7 years old, training through the amateurs and preparing your mind mentally and physically. And when you get to the best stage, to the biggest stage professionally, you have to fight the very best. That's the bottom line. There's no excuses. Oh well, I know him from the amateurs, or he's my brother. No, you fight the very best. That's it, plain and simple. So that's just my take.
Oscar, obviously, there's big
fighters that I've had. Well, it's only been a couple, but like Canelo and I believe some other guys. But they come and go. That's the bottom line. Look, when you're a fighter, yes, there's something called loyalty and appreciation, and it's unfortunate that some fighters don't have it. It's just very unfortunate, but you just move on. You move on with your business, and you do what you do.
How do you see the Virgil Ortiz situation playing out, I guess, to that point?
That is my lawyers made a strong case for ourselves, a strong case, and now it's up to the judge. She needed a few more days to make her decision, and we're just hoping for the right decision. We believe. We obviously have a contract. We know we have a contract, but it's up to the judge.
Oscar, I was the only reporter that actually attended that hearing. Okay. I wanted to ask you, I heard you say...
For us that don't understand, what's so difficult about it?
Yeah. Well, let's just say managers got in the way. That was the bottom line. I was when I got him the Lubin fight.
Rematch? Would you come out of pro?
No, I'm not saying. I'm excited for him because I heard he's having an exhibition with Mike Tyson. I heard he's fighting
a pro fight?
Somebody else, right?
For the community, this is Black History
thank
Month,
you, thank you.
and we got Mexico versus Mexico, and I'm so happy to be here again with you. Tell me, in regards to the community and your outreach, what does this mean in the keeping boxing alive?
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously Cinco de Mayo is a big weekend, right? A big festivities, and it's like it's the Mexico versus France, war or whatever, and it's a big, it's funny because it's not huge in Mexico, and Cinco de Mayo has been I guess embraced by the fans here in the U.S. So we're making the best of it. We're putting on a great all Mexican showdown and giving the fans what they want to see. A great fight on a great date and a special date. So yeah, we're proud of putting this together.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
VAL TV Network Sports and Entertainment with Oscar De La Hoya, the Golden Boy. This is a premier boxing championship press conference.
With Canelo being towards the end of his career, there's going to be an opening for the next big Mexican fighter. What do you think beating a fighter like David Benavidez can do to the future of your career, your legacy, especially being able to be the face, especially of Mexican boxing?
I think the face of boxing will be after Mason.
So what did you think about the last fight between Benavidez and Yarde, specifically the moment before the fight ended where
Benavidez was hold underhand tactic.
Zurdo, Kevin Garcia. I just wanted to get your thoughts on some news that had come out a few months ago about a comment you may have made about David Benavidez. Supposedly you called him a pocho, I think was the term, or not like an authentic Mexican. David was asked about it. He laughed it off. He didn't take it too serious. But can you speak a little bit about how you perceive David as a Mexican-American versus not being somebody who was born in Mexico? And if he were to beat you, can he be considered the greatest Mexican, or do you still look at him as not of that ilk? But do you think there's anything to that? Like, could he be considered the greatest Mexican boxer, even though he's not?
So, but your only loss was to VAL. What do you take from that experience, and what are you bringing from that experience into confronting Benavidez?
Zero, my name is Valerie from VAL TV Network Sports and Entertainment, and this Black History Month, in regards to you defending your title, getting ready for the biggest fight in May. So with your challenge with David, you said he's a monster, and with him going up to 25 in weight, do you have any challenges or any fears for him putting on that much weight for his strength to defend your title? Do you have any reservations, or is this going to be a challenge for you to win on May 2nd?
No, I think he's a big boy, and I mean I don't see any chance. I think he can really prepare me too. I just want to give to the fans whatever they want to see the fight, and that's all. I don't see like advantage for.
Win the fight by knockout. What is your response to that?
We're going to put a great show on that.
I think you can knock him out, that you will knock him out in this fight.
Everything is possible in boxing.
Has he been punched by a puncher as strong as you are, as hard a puncher as you are in the professionals? Has he ever been punched? Do you see this fight as for the true cruiserweight championship, or do you think?
No, absolutely not. Nobody beats Father Time. You know, like you'll see shades of Floyd being who he is, but time beats everybody.
Same for you? Yeah.
We're not gonna be there long enough.
I got.
This fight is presented by Premier Boxing. You can watch it on pay-per-view on Prime Video, May 2nd. This fight is brought to you by Golden Boy Promotions, Sampson Promotion, and also TGB. I'm Valerie McConnell of VAL TV Network, May 2nd at the T-Mobile Arena.